In Hypixel Skyblock, you have a lot of different stats. If you guys remember in my last Skyblock video, I was at tier 5 in the Enderman collection. And now I'm tier 8. When I started playing Skyblock, I had one mission, and it was to get a lot of damage. If you remember, I did like 6.4k. Now I do 7k damage. So we have a full out maxed out aspect of the dragons, and so I started building my potato farm. My potato farm had 4 floors, each floor containing 4 minions, and in a total of 60 minions could take place in the potato farm. At that time, I thought I would get a leaderboard spot really fast if I grinded more potatoes. Here I am farming potatoes by hand for more than 10 hours a day. You're probably thinking to yourself, how did you get this far? How did I thought this might be a good idea? Well, it all started back in May. My name is FNAFK and I've played Skyblock for a very long time. I've made tons of videos on the game, and the 2 videos I took the most time to make are the ones featuring me potato farming for an extended amount of time. The idea of this video is to become the highlight of all my potato farming videos and even become the highlight of all my Skyblock videos. I was going to become top 20 on the potato leaderboard. It may sound easy said as done, but no, it was not. It was extremely difficult. It all started while I was scrolling YouTube one day and found a video of the Hypixel admin called Minikloon. He uploaded an early look at a Skyblock update, more so a farming update, and while watching I saw how easy it was to build a gigantic farm now. What we previously do is go to the builder, get tons of dirt, and start building a gigantic platform, which will take 1 to 2 hours to build. What you do after that is get a hoe and start hoeing the dirt. That will take again 1 to 2 hours. You also have to plant the crops themselves, put down some lighting so the crops go faster, and put down some water. That will take the most time, aka 3 to 4 hours. And then you had to wait for the crops to grow. That mostly took 2 to 3 hours. So it will take around 8 to 10 hours to build 1 layer of potatoes. But after the release of this farming patch, it will take 1 to 2 hours to build 1 layer. That's like 7 to 8 hours less. This is amazing! After I concluded this information, I finally decided to go back to Skyblock one last time. I pretty much quit Skyblock after my last video. I wasn't playing at all and was logging in once a week just to collect my potatoes and sell them to the bazaar. Since that time, I've gathered 54 million coins and decided to spend them all just to reach my goal. Like I said in the beginning of my video, my goal was to become top 20 on the potato leaderboards, and if you recall correctly to my last video, you would see I was 21st in potatoes, but 3 to 4 months later, my spot dropped by a huge margin. Since that time, I've got 50 million potatoes from mostly minions and sometimes manual farming, and was 41st on the potato leaderboards. When I came back to Skyblock, I saw they added a lot of new changes. First of those changes were extra minion slots you could order for free and wait for them to arrive to your island. The time you had to wait was dependent on which minion slot you ordered. If you ordered your first minion slot, it would take approximately 1 to 2 days to arrive. If you ordered your 4th, it will take almost an entire month to arrive. I ordered my 5th slot like 3 weeks ago, and there's still 1 week left before it arrives. When it arrives, I will be able to acquire more potatoes than I already am. To maximize my potato gain, I needed to build more layers to my potato farm, so I could farm without taking a break. I had 2 layers and I knew I needed 2 more to farm infinitely, but it will also take me another 20 hours to build. But then, I found a legendary item they added a few patches ago called the Builder's Wand. It cost me around 3 million coins on the auction, so it was not that expensive since I'm pretty much rich. This item has 2 abilities. Nobody cares about the second ability, but the first ability is where the item really shines. Right click the face of a block to extend all connected block faces. It might sound pretty confusing, but I will explain it. If you build 1 full line of a specific block and right click a block that is connected to this line, if you have the required amount of this specific item in your inventory, it will pretty much copy and paste and create a second identical line. Since now I'm able to do that, normally it would take me 80 minutes to build a whole platform, but using this item, it just took me 10 minutes. They added a new NPC in the lobby called Jacob, and he owns a farming shop. In that shop, you're able to buy tools that will help you build your farm faster. You can buy tools using medals, which are earned by competing in the farming contests. There are 3 items that will help me build my farm faster. First one is called the Hoe of Great Tilling, and this item tills a 5x5 area. Second item is called the Basket of Seeds, and it automatically seeds 1 row of farmland. The last item is called the Prisma Pump, and it pumps water for next to it. With these items, I built my potato layer extremely fast and I immediately started farming. Hey! Did you guys remember those farming contests? Yeah, Those were a giant problem for my grinding. Since to get medals by placing high, aka farming a lot, I had to farm a lot to go up a leaderboard spot. I would farm for 8 hours straight and go up one leaderboard spot. This was actually really hard. While looking for the rewards you can win from the farming contests, I noticed an enchantment. The enchantment is called Turbo Potato. When maxed, it increases the double crop drop chance by 25%. Did you guys know how much the maxed bug cost me? Yeah, it wasn't cheap. I knew if I wanted to farm more potatoes, I had to get a specialized pet in doing so. There's one pet on the market that will help me in that, and it is an elephant pet. I'd already bought one in the summer for 21 million coins, but it wasn't upgraded. So I grabbed 10 million coins and bought 10 ultimate carry candy. This item grants 1 million pet XP and can be stacked up to 10. That means I could get 10 million pet XP. And so, I upgraded my pet from level 81 to level 93 in no time. While I was farming, something fell off. I felt like I could make it go faster. But how? So I went back to Jacob's shop and looked for the items and I noticed one item. A hoe. It was called Mathematical Hoe Blueprint and it can adapt into 5 specialized hoes, with potato being one of them, which is called a Pythagorean potato hoe. And the ability is called Logarithmic Counter, and I harvest 16% potato per digit on the counter, -4, which is pretty much a math hoe because Pythagorean theorem, aka a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This item has 3 tiers and for God's sake it is expensive because the last tier cost me over 8 million coins. Since it didn't get sold in the auction, I couldn't get my hands on it because I needed tickets, which are won by participating in the farming contest. You see, it is all coming full circle. I got myself the tier 2 of the hoe and enchanted it, which cost me over 7 million coins. The next day I went back to the bazaar and noticed something. You can buy tickets. I felt scammed because nobody told me I could do that. So I got the tier 3 version of my hoe and started farming. I also know another thing while farming. You can increase the amount of potatoes you gained by increasing the hoe's rarity. The tier 3 version of the hoe is rare, and to upgrade it to epic I needed 100,000 potatoes. Easy, I know. To upgrade the legendary though was a little challenging. I had to manually farm 10 million potatoes, and so I farmed that in 8 hours, no problem at all, and got it to legendary. But then I had a big brain idea. So let me elaborate. In the Duchess update they added an item called the Recombine Blader 3000, which increases the rarity of an item by 1. So, hypothetically speaking, if I had a legendary item, I could upgrade it to mythic. And so I did. I went back to the bazaar, spent 5 million coins on Recombine Blader 3000 and upgraded my hoe to mythic. This hoe honestly cost me upwards of 15 million coins. I now had the best hoe for farming potatoes. The only thing stopping me now is the competitiveness of potatoes. Pumpkins, sugarcane, carrots, melons, and potatoes are all examples of a competitive crop. Why? Simple, they make a lot of money, but this competitiveness didn't hold me from securing my top 20 spot on the leaderboards. I've started putting way more hours into farming than I normally would. Why? Because it was getting too competitive. What started happening is I would get a certain leaderboard spot, go to bed, and when I wake up I would have dropped several places. This had a huge influence on my motivation because I had a feeling it was getting impossible. Yes, farming potatoes, the thing I did for almost 6 months, was getting impossible and too competitive for me. But I thought, no. I've come this far, I'm not giving up on the final stretch. I had to go even further, whatever the cost. So that's what I did. Since I've been playing a lot, I've also been participating in a lot of farming contests. I've done really good in those. I got a lot of gold medals, but I mean a lot. I've also been placing high. I went from 32nd to 22nd in just 3 days of farming. I was 21st, my personal best from 4 months ago, but this 21st place didn't feel as an achievement, but it felt as a challenge I had to overcome so I could reach my goal. And so, I started farming. Usually I would have chilled while farming, but this time it was different. I was concentrated and wanted to get this over with. I wanted to achieve this goal. And so, after a total of 270 hours of farming, I finally reached top 20 on the potato leaderboard. Which rank I... Finally. Finally. I've been farming for the last wait, since I woke up at 9, it's 7 now. I've been farming for around 9 hours. I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. Oh my god, finally. It took me 2 weeks of non-stop farming 10 hours a day, 89 million potatoes and 40 million coins to reach my goal. What I gained from farming potatoes is dedication, patience, carpal tunnel. I actually might need to see a doctor. My right hand actually hurts. Please send help. The one thing that was caused by farming potatoes is every time I join a Discord call with my friends, they'd ask me to play games with them. And I'll politely decline and they'll go, "Oh, let me guess. You're farming potatoes," and I'll just be sitting there in shambles thinking, "I just want my video, man, please leave me alone." I've had a lot of experience with Skyblock. It taught me a lot about the game and also helped me improve my content by a lot. One day, I might look back on where I've started and be amazed at how far I've come. But with this, my journey in Skyblock is finally over. Or is it?